for tonight's third round Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup matchup between the hometown Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the visiting Tampa Bay Rowdies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a lovely Wednesday it is here on the south side of Pittsburgh. I'm Matt Geitka providing the play-by-play this evening on Riverhounds.com. Last week for the Hounds, it was a 3-0 whitewash of the West Virginia Chaos in round 2 of U.S. Open Cup play. Pittsburgh, like all USL teams, had a bye in the opening round, so they got a chance to size up their competition the week before, and they took care of the Chaos on the strength of a quick 2 goals, actually, in the 9th and the 10th minute, respectively, on their way to advancing to this round of play. We'll step aside for the national anthem and bring it right back to preview tonight's contest. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, I mentioned, of USL, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the North American Soccer League shake hands at the center of the pitch here at Highmark Stadium. And it's been up for debate all week. Is this the biggest matchup in Riverhounds franchise history? Well, we've determined it's at least up there, especially in terms of the Highmark Stadium era. This facility opened in 2013, and 2 years ago, the Hounds had a chance to advance past the third round into the fourth, but they fell to Ocean City on the road. If they would have won that game, they could have hosted the Philadelphia Union of Major League Soccer here. Well, the same stakes are on the line tonight here in this third round matchup. No matter which team wins, they will play host to the DC United of MLS in the middle of June. And if that were to occur here in Pittsburgh, it would be a landmark moment for this Riverhounds team, established in 1999. The Hounds have been as far as the quarterfinals in this tournament. That came in 2001. They actually defeated an MLS team in the quarterfinal round, Colorado Rapids. That was down at Bethel Park High School Stadium, though. Now the Riverhounds in a worthy venue at Highmark and hoping to continue to put the sport on display at a high level. The Rowdies of the North American Soccer League, the NASL, considered the second-tier league in America behind MLS, but USL trying to challenge that status. And with the expansion of USL this year and the addition of the MLS reserve teams, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the U.S. soccer pyramid hierarchy plays out in the coming years. The Rowdies will be in the bright yellow uniforms with the green trim, traditional colors of the Rowdies. You might remember them if you're a longtime soccer fan. In their previous form in the original NASL, the Rowdies played from 1975 to 93. They were in a couple of different leagues after the NASL folded in its original form. They've been back since 2011, and they won the league championship in 2012. And their furthest advancement in U.S. Open Cup play was the fourth round 2 years ago. The Riverhounds made the fourth round last season, heading up to Chicago to face off with the Fire, and that ended up being a 2-1 defeat in a range-shortened contest. Actually, they only played about 50 minutes. So the Hounds didn't feel like they got a really good kick at the can there, but they will tonight as we kick it off, and former Rowdy Willie Hunt gets one of the first touches on the ball appropriately. Both Willie Hunt and Ryan Thompson, who is inactive tonight, the Riverhounds keeper, played for Tampa last season. So here are the Rowdies trying to work it upfield. It's a long ball, a little bit direct, but it's knotted down by Tyler Pasher onto the foot of Rob Vincent, who had a goal and an assist in last week's win against the West Virginia Chaos right here. Vincent pushed it back in on Ryan Hewlings, who knocked it up the near sideline off a Rowdy and out into touch. Starting lineup for the Riverhounds this evening, pretty close to what they would suit up for a USL match. Another throw in for Tyler Pasher. Pasher is on the back line along with Willie Hunt. I mentioned him, Anthony Arena, and Mike Green. As here's Pasher making a run, but play will go the other way on the stoppage. Kevin Kerr, he had a goal and a helper last week too against the Chaos. He gets the start. Lebo Maloto does too. Maloto scored against the Chaos last Wednesday, also got his first USL goal in a 2-1 win at Richmond on Saturday. He will see action, number 22 for the Hounds. As here come the Rowdies though, as Hernandez feeds it over to Santos. Santos into the box. Here's an open chance and a shot and a stop by Hewlings. Ryan Hewlings gets into the contest with a nice stop at the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed over the top and out for a corner kick by Tyler Pasher. So good attack by the Rowdies, and they will have another opportunity to serve one into the mix. Stephen Okai, Rob Vincent, and Danny Earls round out the Riverhounds midfield. Earls the captain. Miro Chabrillo, the Robert Morris University product, is the lone forward. So here's an opportunity. The Rowdies flood the box. A header goes just wide of the near side post, and the Hounds will have a chance to reset. As for the visiting Rowdies, Matt Pickens is between the sticks. Defending will be Darnell King, Ben Sweat, Stefan Antonievich, Tamika Makanda-Weary actually will be on D as well. Martin Nunez is up front, and in the midfield, Richard Menjivar, Marcelo Saragosa, the captain, and Georgi Ristov. Other forwards for the Rowdies, Robert Hernandez. We saw him get a touch on the ball. And Maicon Santos tied for the team lead with a couple of goals. Here's a giveaway to take by Danny Earls. He gets it to Kerr. Long shot, and I believe that was off the arm of Pickens and out for a corner kick. It was indeed. Kerr, who scored in the 87th minute to wrap up that 3-0 victory against the West Virginia Chaos last Wednesday, trying to get on the board again here in U.S. Open Cup play. Kerr, 4 goals and 5 helpers in USL action. One of just 3 Hounds to start all 9 games, along with Vincent and Danny Earls. The Hounds have an option in Maloto if they want to go short. Instead, they'll bend it in, and a diving header by Willie Hunt goes wide. It stays in play. And here's Maicon Santos as the Rowdies send it over to Ben Sweat. Crossing over. Sweat into the box. Knocked away by Danny Earls, and it was offside anyway. That's the signal from the near side assistant referee. So 5th minute, the Riverhounds in their black uniforms. Mishandle there as it was sent out inadvertently by Lebo Maloto, and the Rowdies can gather it in. It's Menjivar. Menjivar, the native of Los Angeles, forces it right back in on the keeper, Matt Pickens. Pickens on the year, 4 starts, including a pair of clean sheets. Riverhounds had their first clean sheet of the season last week, right here against West Virginia. And it was Ryan Hewlings in goal. That was his professional debut, and Hewlings gets another look here today. Here's a long ball to Kerr. Tracks it down. Back to Mike Green. Tries to cross. Not a lot on that one. And it's intercepted by Antonievich. And up the left flank it comes for Tampa. Santos. Ball at his feet. Edge of the area. Poked away by Anthony Arena. And the Hounds can go back the other way. Here's Vincent to Okai. And now Tyler Pasher on the move. the elusive one. Tyler Pasher to Vincent. Some space in the midfield. Kerr lifting one. This is well too far, though, for Pasher, and out it goes. Five players on the Tampa Bay Rowdies roster competed for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, their in-state rival in the NASL last season. So some interleague poaching, setting up what has been a really good start in NASL play for this Rowdies club. They stand at 3-1-3 and tied for second place in the 11-team league. The NASL does something unique, similar to minor league baseball. They split the season up into two parts. The champion of each half, if you will, gains entry to the postseason. Here's a good battle with Menjivar and Okai. And now plucking it free, Georgi Hristov from Bulgaria. Hristov too far, though, on the near side, sailed over the head of Darnell King. But anyway, getting back to the NASL playoff format, they'll have the two half champions and then two wild cards that have the best records of the non-champions. And they'll meet up in the four-team tournament following the season to determine a champion. Tampa was champs in 2012. This team plays at Al Lang Stadium, the spring home of the Tampa Bay Rays of Major League Baseball. A switch up by the Rowdies, and it's Darnell King forcing it back. Hounds with some high press. They love to do this. Coach Mark Steffens, in his first year in Pittsburgh, says it helps the team get its rhythm, especially early on. And boy, did we see that in spades in Richmond 4 days ago. Here's a through ball that's intercepted by Willie Hunt. Can't clear. Pasher has to help out, and Hewlings will finish the job. Down to Arena. Volleys it further to Kevin Kerr, sliding through traffic. The feed on far wing to Mike Green. A one-hopper to Vincent. Tries to overlap with his good friend Kerr, but Kerr couldn't control. Ryan Hewlings in goal, the product of Baldwin Wallace University, Dayton, Ohio native. Here's Earls, the Irishman, winning that 50-50 ball just at the edge of the Riverhounds defending third. Back come the Rowdies. Nunez. Here's Menjivar. Has a look and shoots it up high. And out it goes into the supporters section here at Highmark Stadium. Matt Geica here with you at Highmark Stadium. It is U.S. Open Cup action for the second consecutive Wednesday evening. A warm, almost steamy evening on the south side. Starting to feel a lot like summertime in Pittsburgh. Of course, if you're talking from the Rowdies' perspective, I'm sure they're used to this type of weather. Ball knocked out by Tamika Makandawiri, the Malawi national, getting back to allow the Rowdies to regroup. Okai to Vincent, plays it across, not a good ball there, and it's taken away. On the move, Nunez to Hristov. All the way far flank cross, coming into the dangerous part of the field for the Hounds, and Hewlings has to pounce on top of it with Robert Hernandez in the general vicinity. So the Rowdies looking spry to start this one, but still no score almost 10 minutes in. By this point last week, it was already 2-0 Pittsburgh. On goals by Vincent, assisted by Kerr, and Lebo Maloto, a spectacular individual effort to dance right through the chaos defenders. It's Willie Hunt, and the Hounds in fact dominated play to such a degree last Wednesday that they allowed just one shot on target. So it was a fairly elementary pro debut for Hewlings. It's Okai, right-footed feed, and then a one-touch from Chabrilo to Lebo Maloto. The South African Maloto with those green boots on. Plays it on the overlap. Pasher's coming up. Crosses it toward the spot and knocked out of there by Tampa Bay rather quickly. Hernandez. Georgie Christoph. The Rowdies number 10. Pings it just over to the near sideline, and it stays in. So the Rowdies double further back. Menjivar up to Makandawiri. He gave that one away. An exchange of possession in the midfield. Pasher to Vincent. Hounds slowing it down a bit. Man running free is Kevin Kerr, and he's offside. And we have seen that quite a few times in the early going of this USL season for the Riverhounds. Kerr and Vincent teaming up, showing great synergy together in the midfield. Vincent, 6 goals in USL play, plus another in US Open Cup. Kerr with 4 against league competition and 5 overall. And they've also piled up the assists. I mentioned Kerr with 6 in 10 games. Vincent's got 5 over that same span. And there is the man from Liverpool, Rob Vincent, bounding a ball over to Kerr. Dropped it back to Green, back to Kerr running on, but the return was a bit too far and easily handled by Matt Pickens. Pickens with 10 MLS seasons to his credit. And in fact, there are 7 players in all with MLS experience on this traveling 18 for the Rowdies. But for Pickens, he won the US Open Cup with the Chicago Fire in 2006, and he had 116 appearances with Columbus, including an MLS Cup win in '09. The Rowdies are coached by a fairly familiar name for U.S. soccer fans. Thomas Rongen, the man from Amsterdam, was the first ever coach of the Tampa Bay Mutiny in Major League Soccer. Won the MLS Cup with the DC United in '99, so he's obviously eyeing a matchup against his old club if the Rowdies can come out on top this evening. Either way, it would be a landmark matchup for one of these two squads on the pitch in front of us this evening. Saragossa, one of those players with MLS experience. In fact, he won the US Open Cup twice with DC United. Now it's Darnell King, the former scoring star at Florida Atlantic University. Saragossa plays it further to Antonievich, the former Fort Lauderdale striker. Knocked it upfield. Danny Earls slides in, and the veteran Hound won possession legally, according to the man in charge. Danny Earls always getting his nose into the tough spots, playing primarily a holding role in the midfield. And now it's Moloto, the creative one. Moloto, the give to Pasher. Canadian-born Pasher onto Arena as the Hounds try to build it up and get some confidence with the ball at their feet tonight. I thought it was an interesting comment we had from Anthony Arena a couple of weeks ago on a cold, rainy night at Highmark. Sometimes the players like it when it's colder because the ball doesn't bounce as higher on this artificial surface. Offside, Rob Vincent on the lead pass. So even though you might say it's a great night for soccer, the ball can get away on this surface, especially the very warm days in the middle of the summer. I don't think this one quite qualifies, but we were in the 70s for most of the day in Pittsburgh. Arena faked a pass, and the former Houston Dynamo product. On to Pasher, and now Vincent going deep. This one is onside. Chested down by Kerr on 2 touches. Kevin Kerr scanning things over. He has Green. The cross right at the far post, and that's where Matt Pickens was waiting. But Green was fouled, and a yellow card has been issued. Green was fouled after the cross, and that one goes to Ben Sweat. So Tampa Bay into the books first, but not the way they had anticipated. Sweat the yellow card.
A yellow card has been issued to the Rowdies number 4, Ben Sweat.
Again, 16th minute for that card, and the Riverhounds have a free kick, and Danny Earls, the left footer, will handle. Black versus gold, some familiar colors out there on the field for Pittsburgh area sports fans. Earls has several of his friends in the penalty area. What will he elect to do? Kind of a high one, and he was maybe trying to score there, but got away from him, and it's off the roof of the net. Out for a goal kick, 16th minute. The third round is when the NASL teams get involved here in the U.S. Open Cup, the longest running such tournament in America, third longest in the world, in fact. And it is a truly open championship. Amateur teams starting off the competition 2 weeks ago in the first round, and the pro USL sides stepping into the fray last week. Here's Hunt with a good close and a clearance. He popped it away from Maicon Santos, the Brazilian, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's going to be a handful physically out there. Throwing up coming Darnell King, playing in his hometown of Tampa. One of those former Fort Lauderdale players I was telling you about. Okai heads King's header away from immediate danger. Hounds press up field, and it's Kevin Kerr finishing the job. Ben Sweat, the Floridian, who was just into the book for a yellow card. Now Saragossa, another Brazilian, hailing from Campo Grande. Some space for Tampa on the near wing. It's Darnell King. King up to Menjivar, who eluded the grasp, quite literally, of Stephen Okai to knock it off a Riverhound. That was Arena, and out for another corner kick. This is Tampa Bay's second. The Riverhounds are in the midst of 5 matches in 15 days, but they are 2-0-1 during that stretch. 1-0-1 in league play. 1-0 in the cup. Here's an outswinger and a header toward the far post. Okai made a saving play, and now Hewlings makes a big stop on the follow-up. 2 big opportunities for Tampa Bay, but the Rowdies cannot make it happen, and the Riverhounds survive some nervous moments right there on the goal line. I want to say that was Santos who got that second header, but 2 huge opportunities. Okai said no, and then Hewlings for the second time off his feet to make a stop. So he's been much more active in his second pro game. In his first match against actual pro competition, he's getting tested early on, but we remain scoreless. Hewlings belts it upfield. I apologize on the any misidentification sometimes from this spot. Tough to read the green numbers on the bright yellow uniforms for Tampa. Here's a pass upfield. Christoph hit and knocked down, but advantage ruled as the Rowdies have clear possession of it. King. And King was fouled, and he's still down. Both hands on the back of his head. Moloto has a bit of an argument with Saragossa, who you see sports the captain's armband for Tampa Bay. And King is finally to his feet, but appears to be at least a bit dazed, grabbing at now what appears to be his upper back. At any rate, free kick Tampa Bay. And it's Ristov. Right hand in the air. He'll try toward the spot, a double deflection, and it's out over the end line, off the boot of Santos last. Maicon Santos, who has played in the MLS as well as the top Mexican league. Played for Puebla most recently, south of the border. It's a busy week at Highmark Stadium. The Riverhounds U23 side, which plays in the Premier Development League, or the PDL, squared off this afternoon against a league opponent. 2 p.m. contest. And the Hounds will be back home for a USL competition as they host their in-state rival and Keystone Derby partner Harrisburg City. Foul call against Kevin Kerr, who can't believe it, but he'll have to accept it just inside the far sideline. This is the third consecutive week of U.S. Open Cup action. There will be a break after this round as things reset in mid-June. June 17th appears to be a likely date for one of these two teams, whichever advances, to play next in this competition. Saragossa back against the grain with it. Has it on the foot of Menjivar. And the pass ahead for Hernandez was taken away by Pittsburgh. Here's a pretty good ball by Pasher, nearly skidded it all the way through the Tampa Bay defense, and behind there waiting to poach it was Kevin Kerr, but the ball never got to him. And trying to take his time and clear it away, Darnell King, and he did. Okai to Danny Earls. A spinning ball is chested down by Miro Chabrillo. He had a wonderful header goal off the cross from Matt Dahlman in Richmond on Saturday. The Riverhounds' first road triumph of the season, and a big one it was to keep them right on the fringe of playoff contention. Top 6 out of 12 make it in the Eastern Conference. Moloto just a step slow on that through ball from Pasher, and Moloto was onside, so it would have been kosher if he would have been able to catch up to it, but he did not. '24th minute, and casually walking out with the ball is Matt Pickens. Pickens, who just turned 33 last month, hails from Washington, Missouri, as the Rowdies are a bit errant with that attempted play upfield, and Hewlings will gladly take it. There have been a couple of flurries around the Pittsburgh net mouth area. The Rowdies funneling some balls toward goal and doing a good job of making Pittsburgh think on its feet. Menjivar, who already seems to be one of the more energetic field covering Rowdies, won possession there. It's Makonda Weary taking this return pass on the delayed 1-2. Here's a flick for Hernandez by Santos, but that's 1 yard ahead of him. Pasher the throw at a good one at the feet of Chabrillo, but he had it stripped. And the Rowdies take possession again. A very different contest, as we expected, compared to last Wednesday here. But here's a takeaway by Mike Green and the Ohioan. Hooks up with Kerr. Green. Moloto now. Lebo Moloto, step over move. He works his way free. It comes loose to Chabrillo, and he could not shoot it quickly enough. It was deflected over the crossbar by King. Oh, Chabrillo had time to line it up, he thought, but instead King came sliding in and stymied the chance. Corner kick Pittsburgh. Moloto showing off that creativity fancy footwork to create space in a tough area of the field in which to do so. So here is Rob Vincent. Driving one, back post, punched away by Pickens. Well done. It'll be a throw from the far side for the Hounds. Mike Green. He'll have this throw. What will he try to do? He'll go somewhat long with it, and a flick-on attempt by Kerr, but he couldn't elevate to get it. Goal kick, Tampa Bay. It's a tremendous coaching matchup here this evening. I told you about Thomas Rongen, the credentials for the native of the Netherlands, also formerly the coach of the U.S. Under-20 men's national team and the American Samoa senior squad. And that particular side, American Samoa, hadn't won a match in quite a long time when Thomas Rongen took over, and he eventually broke that long losing streak, further burnishing his coaching bona fides. Mark Steffens on the other side, the head man for the Hounds, first year here, but nearly 2 decades in USL leagues. All his previous years in this circuit were spent with the Charlotte Eagles. Moloto try to chip it by, and he does. Moloto looking very dangerous in this one in the last 10 minutes especially, but that time his pass was ripped away, and the Hounds' passer will chase back, but he does know that he'll have the throw, and so he'll elect to take that instead. Tyler Pasher has played in 7 of 9 USL games. Did not compete against the Chaos last week here. He has a goal and an assist, and 4 of those appearances are starts, ingratiating himself to this Riverhounds coaching staff in his first year in USL. He gets stepped away from here by Hernandez, though. Hernandez to the middle, lays it off. Here's an attempted drive that's blocked by the Hounds. And Willie Hunt volleys it free. Ristov just has Georgie on the back of his jersey, going with the first name. The Riverhounds thought that the Rowdies handled it on the far sideline. Play continues on, but Pittsburgh takes the possession nonetheless. And Chabrilo to Moloto, running diagonally. Slows the play down, hooks up with Pasher. Pasher's got more than his share of touches, always active. He left foots it right back in on Ryan Hewlings, under some token pressure from Santos. But he sprays it out to Willie Hunt. Hunt, a soft, direct ball, seeking out Kerr. That did not connect. Earls pushed in the back. No whistle. And here's Kerr. After the restart, it's Green back to Kerr. Play opens up for the Riverhounds number 10. The low cross cleared away, but tracked down by Green. Inside the touchline, Mike Green trying over to the near side, and Moloto couldn't control. However, he gets help from Pasher. To Moloto, slicing through. Okai can't catch up, but Earls will. Mike Green sliding it back toward the middle. At the arc, it's Moloto out to Vincent. Solid possession in the attacking third for Pittsburgh. Will they have the quality at the finishing end, though? Here is Vincent. Speaking of finishers, try to get his foot around it, and he did. Managed to knock it off of Makanda Weary's foot. And corner kick once again from the near flag. A half an hour in, some good action. Both teams buzzing around the opponent's goal at times, but nothing yet behind either keeper. The Riverhounds trying to change all that as another train passes by. Moloto to Okai, and ball squirted off his foot. Rowdies Simply handed it right back to the Riverhounds, though, in the midfield. Green seeking out Kerr, but 2 feet ahead of him. Not quite enough finesse on that pass. These two sides going toe-to-toe. The Riverhounds seeking their second consecutive trip to the U.S. Open Cup 4th round. The Rowdies were a founding member of the new NASL, an independent league. Here's an errant cross that falls at the feet of Tyler Pasher and ruled to be a goal kick. Pasher did not touch it before it went behind the end line. The Rowdies were attempting to hook up with Martin Nunez from Uruguay, but he couldn't get on the finishing end of that cross. Hewlings up the near sideline, off the head of Makandawiri. Tamika Makandawiri, who played pro soccer in England prior to this for Shrewsbury Town. Maloto makes a man turn and tried to win a foul in the penalty area, but unable to do so. He caught a couple of the Rowdies defenders by surprise, though, including the man with the ball, Antonievich. Antonievich at 6'6", the tallest man on the field for either side. Long ball, Green tracking, offside Tampa Bay. And Christoph disagrees with that call. The Riverhounds enter this game with a record of 3-3-3 in league action, 4-3-3 if you count U.S. Open Cup as one big conglomerate. Darnell King, the ball at his feet. What will he do with it? The Tampa Bay back knocked it to Nunez, and back to King. King with his head up to Makandawiri, but he was ambushed by Chabrillo. Ball comes loose. Riverhounds have it. Vincent and Kerr exchange touches. Rob Vincent, one-time University of Charleston standout, faced his former club last week in the West Virginia Chaos. That's who he played with in the offseason of NCAA competition. Vincent tried to get on the end of that lead ball from Okai, but he had to duck to stay onside, and that cost him his forward momentum. So the Rowdies regather and concede it right back to the Hounds. Maloto. Danny Earls, number 16. On to number 3, Arena. Okai, under some duress from Saragosa, got rid of it quickly to Willie Hunt. Now Chabrillo. Skilled play on the one time to find Mike Green. Green, oh boy, that was close to a handball at the edge of the box. Was not called, and in fact it ends up caroming off Green and out for the goal kick. Thank you once again for watching on Riverhounds.com. You can find the Riverhounds season schedule at this very website. Harrisburg City back in for the second leg of the Keystone Derby, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. We hope to see you here, and we can guarantee it will be warmer than the last time that the Riverhounds played Harrisburg City. It was right around the freezing mark, and wind chill factored in. It was much, much colder, but the Riverhounds warmed things up a bit with a 5-2 win to start their 2015 season. That was back on March 28th. Here we are 2 months later, and it's U.S. Open Cup time. Kevin Kerr, very composed as always. To Green, about 10 minutes short of the stroke of halftime. Chabrillo has that ball, bounced right through him, and in on Matt Pickens. Pickens has split time with the Slovakian Kamil Chontafalski, who made his U.S. debut last season with Fort Lauderdale, as the goalies play catch right now. But Chontafalski has started 3 matches, and Pickens 4, and now 5 for Pickens, in fact, today. With a head of steam, it's Ben Sweat. What will he do? Got rid of it rather quickly and errantly to boot. Pittsburgh throw as Pasher signals to Nunez that he didn't mean to run him off there, and Nunez crashed into the bottom of the bleacher. The seating area just beyond, maybe about 10 feet beyond the touch line. Nunez waved off the athletic trainer, Andrew Keene, so it appears he's going to be okay to get up on his own power, at least I think. Thomas Rongan, the head coach for Tampa Bay. Stuart Campbell and Eric Arbuzau are the assistants. I mentioned Keene for the Riverhounds. Mark Steffens, the man in charge. USL Hall of Famer. Nico Kotic and Josh Reif are his assistants. Josh Reif is actually on the lineup card tonight. He is an eligible player off the bench. Josh Reif played for a Tampa Bay team, not this one though, the one that used to reside in USL Pro 2 years ago. At any rate, we return to action. Vincent takes the ball with his back to the goal. Vincent turning, shooting, and it's deflected out. Corner kick, Pittsburgh. Another opportunity for the Hounds to get a leg up in this interleague matchup. Earls leaves it for Moloto. Moloto competing in his first season in North America. As a professional, I should say. He played over here previously as an amateur. Former NAIA star. Hunt overran that low pass from Moloto, but the Riverhounds will get a quick throw, and Moloto will oblige. Exchanges with Green. Moloto trying to break down one defender, going 1v1. Green, cross, back post. Arena headed it, and off the body of Darnell King. Arena wanted a handball, and that would have been a penalty kick, but to no avail. Corner kick from the opposite flag this time. Rob Vincent, right-footed, to Kerr, back across the front of the goal, and Arena couldn't elevate to get it. And Pickens and Arena embrace. Two competitors appreciating the battle. Guess what? Corner kick, Riverhounds. One more time. In a series of 3. Riverhounds goes short, but it's back to Vincent. His cross deflected. Pickens leaping up to get it, and it wouldn't have counted anyway. Offside, Riverhounds. Sometimes tricky when you look to make that quick 1-2 at the corner flag. And I believe Vincent was the man who was offside, actually, after he knocked it over to Moloto. And so the restart will have to be all the way in the corner. Pickens saunters over to kick it back into play. 40th minute. Pittsburgh 0, Tampa Bay 0 from Highmark Stadium. The Rowdies on the road, where they are 1-1-2 against North American Soccer League opponents. Kerr, maybe a bit too far here for Chabrillo. No, he's going to catch up to it. To Kerr, serves it off the post. What a chance to go up 1-0, but Kerr unable to finish. One of the few times he's had a chance this season and didn't. Puncture the back of the net. I thought Chabrillo wasn't going to be able to get there, but the Tampa Bay defender conceded just enough space. Unsure if that was Sweat or Antonievich, but Chabrillo knew what to do with just a little bit of time as the end line was coming within range. Perfect pass to Kerr. Knocked it off the woodwork. Makandawiri. So perhaps the Rowdies staggering a bit as they've absorbed some considerable pressure late in this first half. Hunt, Green, Earls, Hewlings, and out through to midfield. The Riverhounds have scored first in their past 2 matches. That was a struggle for the opening 8 of this season. They scored the first goal just twice in those first 8 games, but were able to rally back on a couple of those occasions to at least get a point. And in some cases, in one case, in fact, 3, a come-from-behind win against Toronto FC 2 late last month. Kerr to Vincent, though. Drags it over the center line. Rob Vincent. Maloto stops it up there. Hits Pasher to the on-charging Stephen Okai. As Pasher dragged down, foul is called. Robert Hernandez, the guilty party, the native of Venezuela. He played in the first division down there for Deportivo Anzoátegui. So how about it? Rob Vincent will have another crack at it. Just one defender to challenge him. The Rowdies paying more attention to the players headed toward the goal. High bender and easily handled by Pickens. Javelin throw. We don't see that too often, but he threw it on the money. However, headed away from Maicon Santos. Vincent trying for Kerr. Chested by Sweat. And on to Pickens again. In the middle of the field, Saragossa. Pasher. Overlapping and intercepting. Vincent. Riverhounds try the quick counter. Chabrillo, good touch to cause some trouble for Antonievich. But it's out for the goal kick. Just moments away from the discovery of stoppage time, and at the intermission, we'll step away on Riverhounds.com, bring it back for the second half. Okai leaping for it. Could not get it, but Pasher, as he usually does, has the closing speed to make up for that. The throw-in duties will fall to Darnell King. It appears he's going to try a long throw into the mix. 1 minute remaining in at least the regulation portion of the first half. Riverhounds win that ball cleanly, and Ryan Hewlings gives his teammates a hand in goal. But it's out again to Tampa Bay and Darnell King. King holding on to it. Plays catch with Georgi Ristov. Rowdies switch it up. Saragossa. On through, but Mike Green winning the ball. Riverhounds have it again. Chabrillo has his foot collide with one of the Rowdies, Makandawiri. Just about 60 seconds of stoppage time coming up. So we've reached the end of 45 minutes. Vincent, Maloto. Maybe one more opportunity for the Riverhounds to generate something at the attacking end. Hunt, though, gives it up to Saragosa. And now the Rowdies have ideas. Nunez to the middle. Menjivar backs it out. And it's Antonievich to Darnell King. Hernandez. Kind of a desperate cross, and that's at the feet of Danny Earls, who pings it down the near sideline. Matt Pickens meanders his way upfield, and that's when we hear the whistle signaling the end of the first half. Some close calls at both ends, but the closest went to Kevin Kerr, who still has his hands on his head at midfield. He'll have to regroup and get ready to try to generate something in the second half. After 45 from Highmark Stadium, Pittsburgh 0 and Tampa Bay 0, but not for lack of trying from both sides. I'm Matt Geika. We'll be back with the second half of play after this break on Riverhounds.com. Back for the second half at Highmark Stadium. We appreciate you watching on Riverhounds.com this evening, an exclusive feed. And part of third round action. These teams trying to get to the fourth round in mid-June. Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay scoreless at the half. I'm Matt Geica bringing you the play-by-play. We have U.S. Open Cup matches going on across the continent, including some all-USL matchups. Harrisburg City, which will be here on Saturday against Rochester. Real Monarchs and Colorado Springs Switchbacks later. Seattle Sounders prevailed over the Portland Timbers. Those are Seattle Sounders 2, that is, over Portland Timbers 2. That was a 2-1 result in extra time. Tulsa Roughnecks, Oklahoma City Energy later on. And the other games feature either USL teams or some of the amateur sides that squeezed on through the second round, playing against NASL teams. 9 NASL teams have entered the competition here in this third round, the Tampa Bay Rowdies being one of them. Also San Antonio, New York Cosmos, Minnesota, Jacksonville, Indy, Fort Lauderdale, Carolina, and Atlanta. So those are the new contestants. In the fourth round, 17 MLS teams will enter the fray. A sub to start the second half. Darwin Espinal is in for Marcelo Zaragoza. So the captain will cede his armband. Espinal, former junior college All-American, wears number 20 from Honduras. Played his university soccer at Darton State College. So here we go. The Rowdies have first possession. The Rowdies, with an early burst in that first half, they had 2 or 3 serves that caused the Riverhounds to sweat, and then Pittsburgh took over to a degree in the latter half of the opening frame. Both of these teams have been strong in the second half. The Riverhounds have outscored their opponents 12-8 in USL action, 13-8 if you count last week's U.S. Open Cup win against West Virginia Chaos. So once again, Espinal in, Zaragoza out for Tampa Bay, and no substitutions for Pittsburgh, at least to start the second half. The Rowdies have not allowed a goal in their last 2 matches, and now they're 2.5 into a shutout streak. 4 clean sheets in all in 7 matches. The Riverhounds have 1 in 10. And that was just last week in U.S. Open Cup play. Earls presses Martin Nunez, forcing him to give it up. Darnell King makes a brief hand motion, but he ends up dumping that right in on Ryan Hewlings, the Riverhounds keeper. Hewlings had a pair of saves, both of which took him off his feet in the first half. 6 total shots for Tampa, 6 shots for Pittsburgh in the opening 45. Corners were 7-2 Riverhounds, including 3 in a row at one point that nearly led to the first goal. Kevin Kerr is offside, taking the ball at his right foot. Okai, he thought he had that in a legal fashion, but it was not the case. Fouls were 2 apiece, nothing too much to talk about there, although there was a yellow card to Tampa Bay defender Ben Sweat for a rough tackle. But that was about it in terms of controversy. Both teams displaying sportsmanship out there in spades. Vincent twirling around, and he finds an open man. That's Tyler Pasher. Lebo Maloto, Danny Earls, and Pasher again. Looked for the 1-2, but it was closed off, so Maloto elects to hang on. Rob Vincent to the middle. Chabrillo, who nearly had an assist on Kevin Kerr's shot off the post. Chabrillo sprays it wide to Green. Now to the onrushing Willie Hunt, the former Rowdy. Hunt nearly threaded it through to Kerr. Counterattack Tampa Bay. Espinal, first touch on the ball. Christoph And now Espinal cuts it back against Mike Green. Espinal with some room to the edge of the 18-yard box. Now Ristov stepping back and pumping one that deflected off of Mike Green right in on Hewlings. Overhand throw out to Vincent. Pasher speeding by. Darnell King on the flank. Pasher into the attacking third. Look at him go. And that one got away. Pasher's had some moments of brilliance in just that same spot, surprising opponents at times. And, you know, both teams watch film, but to see it live, that type of speed is quite another thing. And Pasher can bring it. It is Earls to Okai, and the native of Ghana finds the Canadian Chabrilo, looking for his fellow man of the Maple Leaf, Pasher, or pardon me, that was Vincent actually, open on the far wing just a bit, but King knotted it out. And the 8th corner kick of this game for the Hounds upcoming. Again, it's Moloto short as Vincent leans into it. Back post try for Hunt and can't redirect it on target. Just the one save in the opening half for keeper Matt Pickens of Tampa Bay, a 33-year-old. This is the first time that a team from a higher league, technically, has come into Highmark Stadium. Espinal trying to show off the skills, but he gave it up. And Pasher had his jersey grabbed. Play continues. Advantage ruled. Pasher laid it back to Kerr. Diagonal ball, Chabrilo skillfully steps on it. Okai. And Vincent thought about it, gave to Chabrilo, knocks it out wide. Pasher, some good possession here for the Hounds. Attempted cross blocked by King. So a back-on-back confrontation there, and King won that one. It's Stephen Okai over to Earls. And Moloto under some duress. The first-year pro hooked up with Okai. And a quick shot and a stop made on the surprising drive there by the Riverhounds' Vincent. What a shot and a corner kick upcoming. And Vincent will take this corner. Number 9 for the Hounds. That close, but Matt Pickens makes his best stop easily of this contest. Vincent will try the in-swinger once again. It's a low one to Okai, and he missed. He was unmarked, and he couldn't direct it in. The Rowdies forgot about him. But Okai, the USL veteran, couldn't make them pay. Veteran of nearly 60 games in the USL. Okai doesn't score too much, but he found himself in a spot there to do just that. But that goes by, and the Rowdies survive. Antonievich forced to give it up by Kevin Kerr, and keeper Pickens launches it out into touch. Moloto with the throw, and the field seems to be tilting a bit, at least in the Hounds' favor now, to start this second half. In Pittsburgh's previous match, it was a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes and then trying to hang on for the last 70. This time, they're looking to put the pedal down in the second half. Hunt, Okai. Stephen Okai to Moloto, back to Okai. Green works through the marking of Espinal, but it's Moloto back to square one. Okai wide to Earls, even wider Tyler Pasher. And it's Vincent threading it to Pasher. Left-footed feed taken away by Makonda Winde, or Wire rather. Good sliding tackle by Earls, but still comes loose to the Rowdies for a moment, but now Kerr helps win it back. Chibrillo overran, but it's Okai to Moloto. Tried to get past Christoph, but the referee rules that to be a sell job, and back come the Rowdies. Quick flick from Espinal, and he's upset that it didn't get through as play opens up suddenly. Plenty of room in the midfield on the counter. Kerr had his head snapped back, trying to keep that one in play. He did, but it hops over to Espinal. And it's Ristov. Stepping in front, Willie Hunt. Vincent, this back and forth second half. Still no goals on the board. As dusk falls in Pittsburgh, stadium lights are on. Arena square to Hunt. As the Hounds try to create on this near side. Moloto, oh, he had Kerr, who probably would have been onside if that pass could have gotten through, because King was keeping him in that onside position on the far end of the field for Tampa Bay. As Kerr sat down in that pocket, finding the open space. Antonievich. Now Espinal running free into the area. Espinal cutting back, shooting, and he didn't get anything on it. Right into Hewlings. And Espinal exchanging some pointed comments with one of his teammates. Who was looking for that square pass. He never got it. I think that's Ristov, who was calling for it in the middle of the field. It was, and now it is Ristov with the ball at his foot. Santos, King. Seeking a crack in the Hounds' defense to capitalize. Can't find it. Chibrillo. Looked like he had Velcro on his boot there to gather in that pass from Moloto. Chibrillo, I think, is playing his best game of the year. And he also looked strong at Richmond on Saturday. The foul was called against Tampa Bay, but a Rowdy is down behind the play. And trotting out to tend to him, Andrew Keene, the athletic trainer. And so is Anthony Arena to see what is the matter. Way back in the Riverhounds side of the field. So it's Maicon Santos who limps to the sideline. Rowdy's playing with 10, at least for now. The Hounds have not made a sub, but the Rowdies have. And here is Vincent, who had the opportunity moments ago, nearly squeezing it by the keeper Pickens. He'll float one. Rising header by Chibrillo. Falls into open space, and the Rowdies volley it out of danger. 58th minute. Thank you for joining us on Riverhounds.com. Berth in the fourth round of the U.S. Open Cup is at stake as Makonda Wire scissor kicks this one out into touch. Tamika Makonda Wire, native of Malawi. One of 4 Rowdies to play in all 7 matches this season, make it 8. Joining Antonievich, King, Herzog, Corey Herzog, did not make the trip. or did not make the starting lineup, I should say. He is available off the bench. Former USL player, Hounds fans might know of him. Back post attempt, Kerr. Tried to volley, but he whiffed. Ball might have been deflected as it came into his vicinity. Good battle by Kerr to help free it up to Willie Hunt. Sliding tackle on the sideline. Menjivar. He of the 20 caps for the El Salvador senior national team. Knocked it out. Pasher to the corner. Tried the cross. It blocked it. It neatly stayed in bounds for Tampa Bay. King again. Locking down that left flank from the Hounds' perspective. Okai legally challenging Hernandez and winning the ball. Mike Green. And Vincent. Vincent turning it on. Knifing his way through and shooting. It's blocked. That had all the makings, perhaps, of another goal for Rob Vincent. Okai has a go and well over the crossbar. As far as injuries are concerned for the Riverhounds, Ryan Thompson, who has played in 8 matches so far this season, starting them all for the Riverhounds, still trying to get that back to 100%. He did play at Richmond, but was under some serious stress there, and the Riverhounds playing it safe with the former Tampa Bay Rowdy, who had an appearance for this squad just last season and played at the University of Tampa, did Ryan Thompson. But the Jamaican national player not in the lineup, not available tonight. There's a clearance by King down over the fence, perhaps over the railroad tracks and down to the banks of the Monongahela River. That's the river you see on your computer screen or your tablet right now. Nifty move by King to create some space and blast it upfield. That was well done. The throw will go to the Riverhounds, though, and Arena tossed it right over the top of the outstretched flag of the assistant referee. A little bit of comedy there for you in the 61st minute. 1 hour gone, a half an hour to go, maybe more, who knows, at Highmark Stadium. Menjivar doubling back. Come on down to Highmark Stadium on Saturday as the FA Cup final between Arsenal and Aston Villa will be broadcast here at the Stadium Pub. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick. Pittsburgh soccer legend and former Villa player Paul Child will be in attendance, and fans will have the chance to win an autographed Riverhounds jersey, game tickets, and other prizes while enjoying food and beer specials. That's at the pub, 12:30 Saturday before the Riverhounds USL game at 7 o'clock against the Harrisburg City Islanders. Foul against Willie Hunt, took down Espinal. That sets up Ristov with the free kick. Pops it out wide to King. And Makanda Weary stepping into the attacking half of the field. Tried that pass, nearly broken up by the Hounds' Maloto. But it's Menjivar again. Ristov up ahead, but Nunez was knocked off the ball by Hunt, and it's Okai in tight quarters. Chibrilo, Green, and onside is Kerr. Can Kevin Kerr create something here in a scoreless game? Kerr to the end line, crossing for Vincent a bit too far. Chibrilo knocks it down, has a crack, it's blocked. Now Okai, and he sent it wide to the left. Substitution for Tampa Bay. It's Corey Herzog, the man I was just talking about, who had played in all 7 league games for Tampa Bay. Now Herzog off the bench into the action. If you're a Penn State soccer fan, you know that name. Former star there before moving on. Orlando City was his club in 2014, previously for Wilmington in the USL as well. Orlando City moving up to MLS this year, and Herzog stayed in the state of Florida to play his pro soccer. Herzog has a goal this year. I mentioned this is a balanced offense for the Rowdies. Martin Nunez and Maicon Santos have 2 goals each. Hernandez, Espinal, Herzog, and Antonievich 1 goal apiece. And Ristov has a team-high 3 assists. You can see why with Ristov, playmaking midfielder. On the Riverhounds side, Earls has a goal this season. So does Lebo Maloto in the previous game. Vinny Dantas, injured Brazilian forward, has 1. Anthony Arena, Fujiro Okiyoma, and Max Talut with 1 each. And Miro Chabrillo has a pair, both through the air. That's his specialty. 6 for Vincent, 4 for Kerr. I told you about them back in the first half, but a quick refresher in case it wasn't evident by their play today. Both dangerous, both able to create and finish in equal measure. That's a rare talent. They played well in tandem this season, both third-year Riverhounds. It looked like Kerr got a hand on that, and he did. Quick restart, it's Espinal. Working 1v1 with Green. Mike Green heads him off. But first touch a bit heavy, it goes out. Ben Sweat. Well, he was going to throw, instead he gives it up. And there are a couple of Rowdies fans you see just on the edge of your screen waving the trademark colors, green and gold. Deep throw toward the 6-yard box. Dangerous moment, but then Arena takes care of business with that half volley, belting it down the pitch. 66th minute. This is played too deep, and out it goes. Speaking of those distinctive Tampa Bay Rowdies colors, which go back to the 70s, Rowdies head coach Thomas Rongen is wearing a green and gold bow tie. You don't see that too often. Bow tie in general, but in those colors, definitely not. The stylish Dutchman, Thomas Rongen, first year with the Rowdies. Pickens downfield. And Green gets in the way of that lead pass, and here comes the Hounds' first substitute of tonight. Vergara on for Chabrillo, who has worked tirelessly, nearly had an assist in the first half. He's going to get a standing ovation from his teammates. Anthony Vergara, the native of Pittsburgh, graduate of Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia, played all 90 against the West Virginia Chaos last week and has seen action in a handful of USL games, but nothing too much. Vergara, we'll see where they end up settling him, because he was a defender against the Chaos 7 days ago. But he's up in the attack here, trying to put that 6-foot frame to use. Anthony Vergara. Can he be the spark the Hounds need to break through? We're still awaiting our first goal of the night. Antonievich doubles back into the middle of the field. And Antonievich has it again. The big man, 6'6", left foots it just inside the sideline for Espinal. Pasher couldn't win the ball, and the Rowdies have it. Watch out here on the counterattack. It's Espinal. Sprinting past Green. He's got the edge. He crosses. Ball in a forest of feet there in the box, and here's a drive that's blocked off. Christoph got it, and it hit his own man. And out for the goal kick. Ryan Hewlings has been equal to the task. The thought before tonight's game was that Callie Brown, who played against Richmond 11 days ago here at Highmark Stadium in a 1-1 draw, would see the start, but apparently that knee injury that has been bothering him for a while is still not good enough to send him out there. Throw by Kerr. Vergara unable to control cleanly, and a Tampa Bay player is down on top of the ball, and I don't know what the referee is going to call here. Nothing so far. He is just sitting on top of it, literally. And finally we get a call, and will this be an indirect kick in the box? I'm not even sure. Antonievich found himself in a spot of trouble, and Moloto challenges him, as does Stephen Okai. Good camera work here. That's got to be a dangerous play, and you just waited forever for that whistle. And will it be a drop ball situation, actually? I think so. So what a strange play that was. Antonievich on hands and knees with the ball between his feet. None of the Riverhounds could get to it, but his teammates couldn't either. He just wanted to sit on it. Kind of like a play you see in hockey along the boards. No, it will be an indirect kick. Indirect kick from Moloto, and, well, this is interesting. With the wall right on top of him, I think they thought they could go to the edge of the 6-yard box, did the Rowdies, but they can't. It's still a normal distance, 10 yards. Moloto with Okai. You don't practice these types of plays too often. Can the Hounds create? Okai to Green, a shot deflected, and right across the face of the goal and cleared by Makondo Weary, who was there on the spot, skidding along the turf. Was that attempted shot by Green, seeking his first goal of the season. He had a handful last year for the Hounds, but nothing so far. He's played mostly out of the back, including tonight. But there was his chance on the grounded feed from Okai. Kerr, nice step up past Hernandez. Kerr, Vergara, cutting back, played it through. Kevin Kerr, the shot, and it went off one of the Rowdies and cleared abruptly up into the stands. And it looks like that offside was called, in fact, on the play. And Antonievich is down, tying his right shoe. He spent more time on the turf than on his feet in the second half. Sort of strange turn of events. That led to the indirect kick just about 10 yards to the right of the goal from the Riverhounds' point of view. And really all that ends up coming of that is a half chance. Nothing really glaring for the Hounds, despite Antonievich deciding to sit on the ball literally. So we play on into the 72nd minute. Hernandez seeking a move down the sideline. He wanted to turn, but now it comes loose. Christoph deflected shot, and wide of the goal, corner kick, Tampa Bay. Well, now, what will come of this? Pittsburgh has had the vast edge in corners. Shots have been relatively even. Here's the cross, the outswinger. Antonievich with that height advantage. Couldn't put it on target, and it was out past the byline, so goal kick is the call, and a proper one. The Rowdies' Nunez couldn't turn it back into play. The Riverhounds have 2 consecutive USL home games coming up. I told you about this weekend, Saturday, 7 o'clock against Harrisburg City. St. Louis FC is in town for the first time ever. The expansion club will be in Pittsburgh. That's on June the 6th, 2 p.m. matinee start. Our final afternoon game of the season. Vincent, some room. Robbie Vincent on his right foot, laid it off to Green, across, and cleared out for the corner. I thought Vincent was going to let that one fly. And Antonievich is down again. Andrew Keene's getting a workout, the Tampa Bay AT. And Antonievich, rather, is holding onto his side as we anticipate a corner kick. Some of the Rowdies bench players warming up beyond the byline. There are 2 or 3 Hounds in the opposite corner doing the same. Antonievich is off. So it'll be a 10-man Tampa side for the corner kick. Danny Earls across the face of goal, and this one is rather routinely handled by Matt Pickens. The drama rising ever higher. With about 15 minutes remaining in regulation time, if there is a need for extra time, we will have 2 15-minute overtime periods. And if we're still tied after that, then you know what happens then, the penalty kicks. But still a long way to go until we get there. In fact, 45 minutes if needed. Green attempted to pry that ball away from Hernandez, couldn't do it. Here's Hernandez with the ball again. Hunt steps up and dumps one of the Rowdies onto his backside. Play continues on. Vergara couldn't get through the shielding Antonievich. Wow, is he ever using the hands and arms? And now he slides in to flick the ball away from Kevin Kerr, and the partisans here in Pittsburgh wanted a call. They don't get one. Yelling some choice words at the head official, head referee. Espinal couldn't get past Pasher. Great battle there, 1v1, and that cross was off of Pasher's foot, and it bent over the end line. Another corner. Boy, it seemed like Antonievich has gotten away with a lot in this second half. He's become public enemy number 1 at Highmark Stadium. And the Rowdies seeking a late second half strike. No score yet. Outswinging ball, and the cross was knotted over the crossbar. Guess who? Antonievich. That one came in a little low for him, actually. Maybe for a normal-sized person it would have been perfect height, but he had to bend down, and that affected his accuracy on the header. Hewling's driving that, and that's well out into touch near midfield. Ryan Hewlings, who doubles as an assistant coach for the University of Pittsburgh Division I men's soccer program, just a couple of miles away in uptown Pittsburgh, Oakland. The assistant referee calls a foul against Tampa Bay. Again, whoever wins this will host DC United of MLS, Major League Soccer, in the third week of June. And what an event that would be here in Pittsburgh or in Tampa. The Riverhounds have played MLS teams before, but never at Highmark Stadium. Arena knocks it up. Pasher chests it down. Tyler Pasher. Play gets a little disheveled here. Makandawiri got his foot around it, knocked it up the sideline. Rowdies keep possession, albeit briefly, as Ristoff gave it away. Willie Hunt. Long ball. Kerr's on the end of it. Kerr a shot and off the fingertips of Pickens and out for the corner kick. I don't think that ball was going on target, in fact, but Pickens stopped it nonetheless, and it nearly left the ball available for Vergara to pounce on. Instead, it skidded by him. Quick corner for the Hounds. Dancing down the sideline, Maloto lost control. Earls the quick play. Kerr stepping up. Antonievich got his head across Kerr's body. Kerr taps him on the back as he passes. Mike Green backtracking. Took it right away from Herzog, the second half substitute. The Riverhounds have had the better of the possession and the better of the chances in this second half. It was more even in the first. Seeking to take advantage of being on their home pitch. Mike Green. Kerr, back heel flick, Maloto in some space. Vincent bouncing away, but Maloto shot it in right into the breadbasket of Makandawiri. Pasher. Looks like some Greco-Roman wrestling over on the far sideline, and the foul called against Pasher. Espinal wasn't happy. He's grabbing at the back of his leg. Final 10 of regulation time. Some confusion for the Rowdies. Nearly gave it away. Antonievich drives the pass to Sweat. Ben Sweat up through the midfield. Maloto whistled on that. Menjivar is down on hands and knees. Richard Menjivar drives it up the center of the field. It's off a Rowdy, and a quick foot by Pasher to play it away from Hernandez. And a card issued to one of the Rowdies, that is Hernandez. Another rough challenge by the Rowdies. It's their second yellow card in that same spot, actually, in that quadrant of the field. 82nd minute yellow card. Nothing in the books for the Riverhounds. No goals, no cards. 2 cards for the Rowdies. Antonievich grabbing onto the back of Vergara for leverage. Got away with that too. Just a very physical player. Loves the contact. Stefan Antonievich. Takeaway. Vergara. Maloto. Vincent trying to drag it through, and he couldn't. That's the type of turnover that leads to a goal a lot of times. Hunt heads it in on one hop to his keeper Hewlings. But the Hounds had Rowdies trapped upfield and could not take advantage of that. The service from Okai to Kerr. Overlapping Maloto. Maloto, Kerr, open man there, loose ball, and fallen on by Pickens. On the back post was Anthony Vergara. But the ball ended up once again under the body of a Rowdies defender. Antonievich with a speed burst. Getting past Okai. We go up and down the field here. Entertaining match tonight. Third. No place for the faint of heart there. Stephen Okai sacrificing his welfare to protect his keeper and protect this tie score. Long service. It's up for grabs. Danny Earls didn't get a great head to it. And so Nunez, he of the 11 goals over the years for Fort Lauderdale, knocked it on back. It slides through. Hunt playing it away, getting some help from Mike Green, who has had another terrific night on the back for the Hounds. So at a forearm shiver, Hauger is the Riverhounds athletic trainer. She has not been needed to come onto the field, at least tonight. Always hard-working, though. Moloto. High stepping to Kerr, back to Moloto. Pass wasn't quite there, but Green steps up, couldn't win it. And the Rowdies in a tight spot. Kerr, the header. Vergara couldn't get around Antonievich. That large frame proving troublesome again. The keeper, Pickens, fired that one up and out, though. And the Hounds get another throw at it. And it's a good one from Green. Inside the touchline, Anthony Vergara. Left-footed cross off a leg. Moloto steps too, but couldn't take it away from Makandawiri. 86th minute. Herzog had it deflect off him and out. Green the throw through Vergara, who's called for the foul. An illegal shield on Ben Sweat, who spent last year with the Columbus Crew of Major League Soccer. The Rowdies press up field on this free kick. And here it is from Antonievich. It's a relatively short one. Vergara couldn't get ahead to it in the midfield. Tampa Bay commands it, albeit briefly, as Hunt got a foot in the way of the cross. Makandawiri back to Hunt as we play some ping pong from long distance. Menjivar, Espinal inside the touchline. Hunt steps in again. Up to Moloto. Soft first touch helps him win possession. But no foul call there as he tumbles down. On the counter, it's Espinal leading the charge once again. On the overlap, the cross from Ristov is knocked out over the sideline. The throw from Sweat. He gets it right back. Zeros across the board. Hunt pops it high into the atmosphere. Willie Hunt has it come back to him. Exchange with Anthony Arena. Wasn't happy with that play upfield. He was seeking out Vergara. Did not happen. Riverhounds getting numbers back. Rob Vincent showing his determination to defend in this situation. We're reaching, at least late in the second half, if we don't go to OT, next goal wins territory. Espinal flipped it out. Who will be the hero? There will be someone. This match cannot end in a draw, no matter how we get there. Darnell King skying it into the area. Oh boy, that just hopped off the foot of Herzog from 15 yards out. But now Pasher shoved down, goal kick Pittsburgh, and we will have At least 3 minutes of extra time once we tick past 90 minutes. Plenty of time for a late strike. Hewlings gets his full leg into this one. Eventually settles near the sideline. On the challenge. Earls couldn't win it away. Throw in Rowdies. It's to the foot of Ristov. Wins the throw again. And he left it there for King to handle. King up, Pasher, took it away. Okai, Maloto, wanting to turn. Plays square to Pasher. Now Vincent, there's the announcement on stoppage time. Vincent tripped up a bit, advantage continues on. His shot, he scored! Oh, Vincent knocks it in right along the ground, and he's tackled in front of the Steel Army. Riverhounds 1, Rowdies 0 in stoppage time. Everybody move to the back of the bus because Rob Vincent's driving tonight. The Riverhounds number 6 may have just put Pittsburgh through to the 4th round of U.S. Open Cup. He put that in a perfect spot. And Vincent gets his 8th goal. 6 in USL play, 2 in US Open Cup. The Liverputian Vincent, 3rd-year Hound, and I don't believe he has ever scored a bigger goal in his career. The smoke bomb is off. The Rowdies appear stunned. Sterling Flunder is going to come in as a substitution. The 6th-year Riverhound defender. Vincent knocks it in from outside the penalty area. How about it? Maloto's out. Exchanges. Congratulations with Sterling Flunder. Flunder offering it his way, of course. Flunder now into the game. And an errant play. The Riverhounds crowd enjoying that as possession goes over to Pittsburgh. And there cannot be very much time left. That was scored at least 1 minute into stoppage time, if not more. 1-0 Riverhounds on the Rob Vincent strike from distance. 90+ minutes into this game. My goodness. So can the Hounds hold on? The Rowdies are probably going to have 1 or 2 cracks at it here before the final whistle sounds. Pasher drills it upfield. Vergara has it go off his foot and out, but that still kills even more time. Antonievich, or pardon me, Ben Sweat rather. Sweat couldn't turn the corner, but he wins the foul against Vergara. Sweat will step aside. His keeper, Matt Pickens. 10-year Major League Soccer veteran. Knocks it deep. It's up in the air. Comes free to King. Right back in. Okai was drilled from behind, and the foul is called, and that's an unsportsmanlike play and a frustration play by one of the Rowdies. Oh boy. Okai is down and hurt. Antonievich checks on Okai, and all you can see is his breath going in and out of him as he turns over onto his back. A tough moment here for Stephen Okai. 25-year-old native of Accra, Ghana. Last year with the Orange County Blues, played for Mark Steffens with the Charlotte Eagles. Okai has a smile on his face as he gets up. I think he realizes that this game's about to end. Areno's on the sideline trying to get back into the game, by the way, as he has been patched up. He might have had a cut on his head somewhere. Hewlings will have the kick from the spot of the foul. It was initially going to be 3-minute stoppage time, but with the goal and the celebration, more was added on. This Highmark Stadium congregation just awaiting that final whistle. And the news that their Hounds have moved on. They still have to get a couple more clearances, it appears. The Hounds wondering where that whistle, or when that whistle will be coming. But Vergara has the ball at his chest, an opportunity to kill some clock, and he does! That's it! Crowd on its feet. The Hounds bench up. Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1, Tampa Bay Rowdies 0. The Riverhounds get a big victory in one of the most important games in franchise history, and it's Rob Vincent in stoppage time in the second half who gets the decisive strike, and the Riverhounds will host DC United of Major League Soccer in what will surely be the biggest game in Hounds history, and certainly of the Highmark Stadium era. Date and time upcoming. It will be the third week of June, possibly June 17th, which would be a Wednesday. That has not been determined. What has been determined, though, is that the Riverhounds are through to the fourth round for the second consecutive season. Last year they had to go to Chicago to play the Fire. This year, though, MLS will come to Pittsburgh, and the Riverhounds will be a game opponent, as we just saw. They take down the Rowdies, serving Tampa Bay its second loss, just its second loss in 8 overall games this season, and the Riverhounds 2-0 in U.S. Open Cup play. Rob Vincent got to be the man of the match, but the Hounds also get the clean sheet. Several saves made by Ryan Hewlings, again stepping in as the two keepers ahead of him, Ryan Thompson, Callie Brown, both compromised by injuries. He gets the job done. He had 2 very critical saves in the first half to keep it scoreless. Kevin Kerr hit the post late in the first, and we went up and down the field in what was a fantastic soccer match on the south side. One more time from Highmark Stadium, Riverhounds 1, Rowdies 0. We'll be back with you on riverhounds.com and YouTube on Saturday as Pittsburgh hosts Harrisburg City in USL action. This has been Matt Geica. We'll talk to you then here from Station Square.